Jake,
let him have
the red ones in order.
What we done?
Nothing.
Here's one. Respect one. Are they soft?
Yeah, really.
They're better than ones.
We'll have a thing. What now?
Yeah, then get filming.
I'll have one.
They're already filming.
Oh, I want to see his face when he gets this.
It stings your mouth.
Get that on camera.
It is on camera.
Oh god.
Oh. Don't you remember at school?
Right then.
I'll let you get over the
Yes,
south.
we're ready
a lot
when you
better
are.
than
That was horrible.
You alright just having a look? Yeah, just those
It hurts your throat, doesn't it?
They're not that bad.
It's gone now.
You just know that's not doing any good for you at all.
That's more sugar than I probably had all month. Just off one sweet.
Oh.
Horrible on your throat, ain't it?
And all the
Nice now, when it's not even that nice to be fair.
Just horrible sour.
Yeah, the lemon one was a lot better.
I reckon that's the one he
A lot
gave
better.
me, because he... Oh. What a way to start your interview, Cosmo, by eating sour. You cry?
He's not crying. Are you crying? Making my eyes water.
Oh, you're getting emotional. Oh. Oh.
Let me get down to get him.
Oh, got through it now.
I'm not having another one of them. Hi, I'm Cosmo from Fishing Family UK and I'm here at the Sticky Baits Open Day at Fosters of Birmingham with Sticky Baits Jake Wildbore. Hi Jake, thanks for agreeing to answer a few questions.
No problem at all, mate. I don't think I had a choice though, did I? I was dragged up here.
What was your first fish?
My first fish was a perch. But fishing come about by me and Dan crab fishing in Swanage, and then someone caught a wrasse or something next to us, and then we thought we fancied a bit of that, bought some small rods and then took them down to the local Lake Mill farm, got some maggots, and it took off from there, to be honest. Dan was more passionate straight away behind it. He got the bug, whereas I was more interested in football. And yeah, it really perch, I would say, perch, and then it went on to roach, and then so on and so forth.
Mine was a perch as well.
Was it?
Because we went to a park and
Yeah.
there was a lake there, and my dad was fishing because he already liked it, and so he said, come on Cosmo, come and have a go, and I had to go and I really enjoyed it.
Good man.
How did you get into fishing?
Again, it was Dan that kind of stayed fishing, kept reading the magazines, and I was kind of flitting. I'd go for a day, irritate him, we'd end up fighting, and then, you know, we'd have a few of my mates. We all kind of grew up just going the odd Saturday, but again, mine was more the football, and then it suddenly clicked, and then we both were going religiously every single week, like getting the parents up to take us down to the lake at like 3-4 in the morning, and so on and so forth. But again, how it started was from sea fishing, which is bizarre, being as I live in Leicester, probably the most central place in the UK.
My dad bribed me with sweets to actually come.
With
and
sweets, not toxic waste then, not them.
I was 4 when I first went coarse fishing, and I was 5 when I first went carp fishing.
Okay.
What is your favourite catch ever?
Ooh. That's quite difficult. I'd say one of them is a fish that I caught from a Belgian canal. We went over there and we loaded the van with shop displays to display all of our products on, and then we threw our gear in as well, me and the boss and another lad, and we kind of went over there, bounced from shop to shop, and rather than hotels we thought, well, we'll fish. And I'd never fished over there before, and there's a big stretch of canal that's like sectioned off, and we walked a stretch which is like the known area for people to fish, and then we walked into this city centre where the local shoppers said no one fishes it, and it's all like a 15-foot drop to the water, and then there's no swims. You're fishing off a wall, and we were walking along, a few of us, and it was crystal clear, weedy, 2 boats sat there, and yeah, straight away we seen loads of carp, and you know, some pushing 40, 50 pounds. So we did the night on the street, which wasn't really enjoyable, just sat up on edge with a few characters wandering around in the city centre as you get. And in the morning we went to bait up next, basically we're fishing next to the boat, so the fish were living under there because it was the only place of cover in that section of the canal. And then in the morning I stood there with a grill boilie, just crumbling it whilst talking to the boss as we were about to throw the bait in for the day, go and visit the shops. And as I was crumbling the bait, this comment came from the boat, and you know when you're feeding maggots and you're getting roach taken and rudd on the top, it was like that, and it came up and was taking the crumb as I was putting it over the edge. Then the bigger one came out, which, I mean, that one I ended up catching, which was 37. The other one that came out dwarfed that, so I'm standing there feeding them. He carried on, I went and got a rod and just lowered it down. I stood there with the rod to the side, and then the boss watched it. As soon as they let it at the bottom, like balance pop-up just settled down, and it just turned and then took it. And we've seen it all from scratch. So I'd say that's, I don't know if it's the best, but it was certainly very memorable.
Who is your favourite fisherman?
I don't know, there's so many. I don't know if it's just as a fisherman, but it says they are as people. I'm very fortunate just from working in the trade, you get to meet them as people, because obviously you see them on TV. You know, I obviously watched like John Wilson, Matt Hayes, Mick Brown, and then the Passion for Angling's all on, they were on Discovery and stuff, and then all the people that at Korda that I used to watch when I was younger, I ended up working with them. I'm fortunate to do it, so it's difficult, but I would say when I was younger it was like the Matt Hayes, John Wilson.
If you could go fishing anywhere, where would you go and what would you try to catch?
I would like to go to the Florida Keys. I've spoken to so many people that, because I've always just been, that's the kind of fishing I want to do and that's it, and they've been over there year after year, and every single time they say it just frazzles their fishing here because it's just so explosive and yeah, catching all different species, and it just looks a beautiful place to go. So I'd say, yeah, Florida Keys.
What did you want to catch from Florida, Cosmo? Trying to persuade Granny to take you. Massive thing.
Oh, life gopher.
Really? So yeah, things like that, marlin. They're just there's just so many different fish, and like you can from speaking to the lads, they go out on boat trips, but then where their villa is, there's like the sea's there, and they're just chucking rods out and catching all sorts. Just yeah, I think yeah, definitely Florida Keys.
Did you take anyone fishing last year that hadn't been fishing before?
Yeah, who's I took? No, I don't think there's anyone.
If you took anyone?
What, that hasn't ever been before?
No, that has been.
I don't know, to be honest. A lot of my fishing the last few years have been very kind of anti-sociable.
Just make it a lot easier.
Yeah, just to go to the lakes that I've always wanted to fish, close the gate and go by myself and meet the people in their environment.
Do you do any other types of fishing, or do you focus on carp?
I've tried to do other types of fishing, but in all honesty I'm absolutely abysmal. The problem is when I first started fishing I didn't grow up on the rivers. I think, you know, which is something, not that I regret, but I think it's, you look at anglers that, you know, they're known as carp anglers, but they grew up fishing on the rivers, and them as anglers are just ahead because they've learnt so much by fishing the rivers. And really, I keep saying to myself I'm going to do it more, and I have. You know, I've been on the River Wye barbel fishing, which was amazing, chub fishing on the Chelmer, and I do a bit of perch fishing, but when I go normally it is predominantly carp fishing.
What is your favourite bait?
All depends on the situation, time of year, but I'd say what I use majority of the time is krill. It's, I don't know, it's a very, very good quality, highly nutritional fish meal that has, since its release, has caught lots of big fish, and it consistently catches. You always hear people say, you know, it's blown on that particular walk because so many fish have been caught on it, but a good bait never blows. So something that, yes, highly nutritional, good quality, and that you know, confidence that it's going to work. So yeah, I'd say the krill.
My favourite bait's probably the signature squid.
Okay.
Pop-ups, topped with a krill boiler.
Oh, nice. Which one's your favourite colour? Or do you chop and change?
I think we use yellow.
Oh, okay.
What is your favourite method of catching carp?
Whatever works in that particular situation and time. It's, I mean, you know, stalking, watching them take it, float fishing, same thing. You know, that is very exciting, very exhilarating. But then, you know, you sat there in the morning, your rod's out, and then you see one show, you see a few bubbles, and then you get the take. So that's, to me, just as exciting at times as stalking is. So I do so many different styles of fishing, or carp fishing. So all of them have their time and place, but yeah, stalking's probably the main one.
What's it like to fish for the national team?
An incredible experience, and you meet, you know, some fantastic people from, you know, all different parts of the world, and it is probably the proudest moment, but it's also the most stressful, the most draining and tiring thing you could ever imagine. You imagine everyone, you know, even if you look at the England football team, everyone can sit there in a pub and slate every single player, but you know, when it comes down to it, it's, you've only been selected and you're only going out there fishing and doing all you can. It was an incredible experience, but in all honesty, I used to do a lot of match style carp fishing, and I haven't done it for a number of years now. Me and Dan haven't. I think it's just when you fish, you know, for England, it was like your whole year was devoted to it. You're just practicing time rigs, just everything was to that. And then you get out there, you've got all the pressure, it's all built up, we're all fired, we're all ready to go, and then you get a rubbish draw. And people don't look into the fact that we all know it's all down to location. So you could be in a section like 2 miles away from where the fish are, and you can't do anything about it. All you can do is stay in your taped area for 72 hours and work as, you know, ridiculously hard, and then at some points you knew no matter what you did, you weren't going to compete, but you had to keep going. But yeah, it was a very, very, very proud moment doing it, but I look back at it like with fond memories, but can't say I would jump back at it straight away for the time being.
How competitive are you and your brother Dan?
I'd say I'm more competitive than he is. He's very chilled and relaxed, very, and until I wind him up, he can get wound up easily, but I know which buttons to press, and that's when I bring his competitive side out. But generally when we fish together, we work together as well, so it's when we are together now, we're just happy for either one of us have caught. But yeah, I'd say I'm a lot more competitive than him.
What's it like to work for a company like Sticky Baits?
It's completely different to when I worked at Korda. Korda is just such a huge establishment, and just like a well-oiled machine. It's obviously been going a lot longer than Sticky, and in each department there are so many good employees in each field, whereas Sticky Baits was exactly the same but just on a smaller scale. So it's growing so much that you kind of each job role is opening up to getting more people, because as we're growing, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's I wouldn't say a lot more freedom, but certainly feels like it's kind of, you have more of an impact because there is only a few of you doing it. But I absolutely love my job. I'm so fortunate to. I thought about this the other day. I haven't actually woke up for the past well, I worked for Korda for nearly 3 years, and I'm almost 3 years at Sticky Baits, and I've not woke up and gone, I don't want to go to work, which is a blessing, because I know a lot of people, you know, I have done rubbish jobs and hated every single second of being there, and I think I needed to do that when I was younger, to kind of take the rough with the smooth, if you like. But yeah, I'm very fortunate and love my job now.
You were on Thinking Tackle a few times. What's it like filming for TV?
The first show I did, I'll be honest, I was absolutely petrified. I'm not the most kind of outgoing person to just go to a camera and present and talk and willy-nilly, but the first one I did was with Ali, and we all know what a character Ali is. He could just talk to anyone and just nail it straight in front of the camera. And when I first did it, it was basically people from Sky Sports, so you got 2 cameramen and a director. Over time I got to know them as people, and it came a lot easier, but the first time I didn't know them, so they had stood there with these big cameras straight in front of you, and you like, every time I'd mess up or I'd be looking at them, I was thinking they're not interested in what I've got to say, and it's very, very difficult. I remember the first show I did, I was like, Ali would ask me a question and be like, meh, like trying to not play it cool, but I wasn't overexcited, and Ali was like, you've got to be more enthusiastic. And yeah, it was very, very difficult, but over time, once I got to know the cameraman and everything else, it was good fun. A lot of pressure when you're fishing. Imagine just fishing alone, and then one of the hardest things as well is when you're like this shoot me and Danny did at one on linear. The fish were moving constantly, and you've got the film crew and everything else. You can't just grab your barrow, go. You have to go, right, so I'm gonna, you know, address the camera, I'm reeling in, this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it. They get cutaways of you loading the barrow, they get cutaways of you walking away, they get cutaways of you doing this, then cutaways of you putting your rods out. So you're rushing to get a bite because the fish are there, and you're having to stop and do everything because the cameras are obviously need to get those shots. So it's very difficult. And then when me and Rooney did a match for Fishing Gurus, and poor old Maisie was being presenter, and me and Rooney, we lived together and were both so competitive that it just didn't work, because neither of us wanted to reel in to do a bit to camera because we kept catching fish. So that was difficult in itself, but good fun. But yeah, once I got comfortable and kind of knew the people behind the camera, it came a lot easier.
Thanks for your time, Jake.
It's alright, mate.
Catching.
I'll try if I get to go fishing, or if I go fishing. But thanks, mate. Good man.
I'm gonna steal you!
Media or sales?
Sales.
Is that, how did you get into that?
I started at Sticky to do social media, look after the anglers and everything else, and then sales just come about by people in shops messaging me saying to come in and see them, and just started building relationships, like coming in here, and then we looked at the displays, and the displays just took off. So a large percentage is, you know, fitting those displays and then servicing them. Best possible way, in my opinion, to get into the trade is by working in the shop.
Yeah, because you get to meet everyone.
If you look at how many people that work in shops have then filtered through to the trade, it's, you know, it's I mean, I'm not saying, like, looking at graphic designers, you know, product design and think that's, you know, university, getting degrees, having that field, but regards to sales, I don't think you can't go to university to learn that. You've got to, you just have it
in your persona sort of thing.
Right then,
we ready?
are you ready, Cosmo?
No. Still eat my fruit.
Yeah, you can do it when you're eating.
The best thing to do is work hard in the shop and just show initiative, show drive, and ready. You still got that sweet. Good to go?